Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you for your interest in United Financial Freedom. We have an extremely lucrative compensation plan, and we would like to chat with you about that. But please keep in mind, nothing happens unless you take action. So thank you for your interest in being a part of the Take Action Partners team. Let's go ahead and discuss what some of the possibilities are. So the compensation plan, I'm happy to say we can actually earn in 6 different ways. We can earn personal sales commissions, field trainer commissions with split sales, management overrides and spread commissions, leadership overrides. We have 5 profit sharing pools, and then of course we have trips, incentives, and promotions. So today we're going to discuss those 6 different ways that you can earn with a career with United Financial Freedom. First, before we do so, we need to make sure that everybody is aware that the price point for the program varies. So therefore, your commission will vary, and it is based on the sales price of the program. We have one program, but really 4 different pricing scales. I didn't include the 4th one on the screen. The first one is the Gold program. That's for somebody that does not have a mortgage and they have less than $80,000 in debt. That price point is going to range anywhere from about $1,300 to a price cap of $25. We have the Platinum program. That's meant for people with 1 to 3 mortgages in their debt structure and or over $80,000 in debt. And so that price point ranges from $2,997 to a price cap of $3,795. Our average sales price is $3,500, and this Platinum is the most commonly sold price point. Then we have the Platinum Plus, and that's for investors that have 4 to 10 mortgages in their debt structure. That's a price point typically of $42.95, at least that's the price cap. We also have a Platinum Plus Pro for people with 11 to 30 mortgages in their debt structure, and that's $5,995 with a monthly fee. Nothing else has a monthly fee, just that Platinum Plus Pro. Now, if somebody does start on a lower package, let's say somebody is just out of college, they have some student loan debt, about $30,000 total debt, no mortgage, they can start on the Gold package and then they can upgrade later to a Platinum program if they then get a mortgage in the future. So keep that in mind, because guess what? You'll get compensation when they upgrade as well. But it's very important to know not the details of the tiered pricing. It's just important to know that the price point is going to vary, and it is based on the complexity of the person's financial situation. So now that we know that, let's go ahead and jump on in. Agent ranks. As a new agent, you start at the level of associate. Based on sales and productivity, you're going to move up the ranks. You go from associate to director, senior director, managing director, and then you get into leadership ranks, where we have executive director, senior executive director, managing executive director, and field partner. As you move up in the management ranks here, your compensation for sales increases. So at that level of associate, you earn 36.7% of what we call commissionable volume. So of the sales price that's made, 70% is paid out to the field somehow, some way. We call that commissionable volume. And you earn a certain percentage of that commissionable volume based on the rank that you're at. Again, we all start at associate based on sales and productivity. We move up the ranks, and we get all the way up to executive director, who earns 63.26% on that commissionable volume. Now, I put the exact number on the screen because I know that there's a bunch of analytical people like myself out there that really want to know the minute detail of that compensation. You really don't need to know the exact number. So we usually do just say, gosh, the executive director earns about 63%. Now, so what does that look like? Our average sale is $3,500. Of that $3,500, 70% is paid out to the field somehow, some way. Again, we call that commissionable volume. So 70% of $3,500 is $2,450. And your commission is based on whatever level you're at. If you're at the level of associate, you earn 36.7% of that. You just earned $900 on that sale. And you've probably invested 3 hours of time at most. And I think that's being generous on your time investment for that sale. If you're at executive director, you've earned 63%. Same amount of time investment, Same sales price of $3,500 paid in full, you just earned $1,550 on that sale. Kind of nice for 3 hours at most of time for that sale, right? Now for that $3,500, that's your personal volume as well. So you have team volume, branch volume, and personal volume. So we'll get more to that in just a second. I want to start with a few definitions. Not to overwhelm you with definitions, but it is kind of important to know where you're starting from and where you're going as well. As an associate, as a new agent, you will be an agent in training. All new agents are required to have 2 training sales completed with a certified field trainer. So as an agent in training, again, you're going to complete 2 training sales with a certified field training. Those 2 sales are split 50-50 commission-wise with that certified field trainer or CFT. Once you've completed those 2 training sales, you then become a personal producer. As a personal producer, you now can make sales independently. You do not have to wait or work with a certified field trainer unless you choose to. You can certainly do more training sales or more split sales with a certified field trainer should you want to do that. But as a personal producer, you can actually handle the sale from start to finish. Once you've done 2 sales independently, you then can become a certified field trainer. So certified field trainers have completed their own 2 training sales. They've done 2 sales on their own independently, and then they request to become a certified field trainer. Once you are a certified field trainer, you then can assist other people in training sales as well. And then you're going to earn those split commissions with them. So what does that mean? Remember, we're going to use an example of $3,500, but I can't emphasize enough. Price point varies, and it is based on the complexity of the person's financial situation. Our average sales price is $3,500, so that is the number that I tend to use. So the volume is $3,500. That volume is what's used to help you progress up the ranks. Now, in a split sale commission situation, that volume is actually split in half with your certified field trainer. So the personal volume is $1,750 to the certified field trainer and $1,750 to the trainee. And your commission is based on that personal volume that is assigned to you. So of that $3,500, $2,450 is commissionable volume. Split in half is $1,225 for each of those agents, and then that's $1,225 times whatever their commission level is, and that's the commission that they get for that split sale. So as an associate on that sale of $3,500 during that training time where you do your 2 training sales, you've just earned $450. I think that's pretty darn amazing to earn that much money while getting trained. You're earning while you're learning. That's pretty darn amazing. And again, let's say that you're an executive director and you are the one that is the certified field trainer that's assisting somebody on your team. Same $3,500 sale, you just earned $1,225 in commissionable volume. So your personal volume was $1,750. Your check is $775 for completing that sale for somebody else and training them on how to become a salesperson and sell this and help as many people as possible independent of you. Moving up the ranks is pretty darn easy. So that's usually the most common question that I get next. So to move from associate to senior associate, you must have at least $15,000 in branch production volume. Of that, $5,000 must come from you. So you can choose to have a team or you can choose not to. Really, the choice is yours. If you have a team, your team's volume will help you advance. That's kind of cool, right? So as a senior associate, again, it takes $15,000 in branch volume to get to that senior associate. Of that, $5,000 can come from your team, $5,000 of that must come from you. And the difference of $10,000 can be in any form. It can be your sales, it can be your team sales, but it must be a total of $15,000 to get up to that level of senior associate. And you can see what it takes to move up the ranks. To get to executive director, it's only $105,000 in branch production. And of that $105,000 in branch production, $40,000 of it must come from you. The other $65,000 can come from your team or yourself or any combination thereof. Just a minimum of that must be $40,000 from you and your personal production. So let's talk about overrides. From the level of senior associate and above, you can earn overrides on your team. Overrides are based on spread, or the difference between your rank and that team member's rank that made the sale. But it gets even better because it's not just that. It's also between your level and the next person in line between you and the agent. That may not sound all that exciting right now, but I'll show you what I mean by that in just a quick sec. So let's look at this, and this can be a little bit overwhelming when you first look at this. Again, we're using a paid in full average sales price of $3,500. This is your rank on the top. If you're a senior associate and you have an associate on your team and that associate makes a sale, you may not have even been a part of that sale. You just earned $110 on that sale. Now let's say that you're an executive director and you have an associate on your team that made a sale of $3,500. You again may not have been a part of that sale, you may have, but your override is $650 in that situation. So you can see how that override changes and adjusts on your team. So an executive director's override on a managing director is $150. So some people get a little bit concerned, oh my goodness gracious, what happens when that managing director gets to be an executive director? Well, I'll tell you about that exciting news in just a second. But before I do, I want to remind you about something that's kind of fun. So let's say that you are at the level of executive director and you have a team member that's a director, and that director has an associate who makes a sale. Well, guess what? The associate earns their commission on that sale. The the director earns the difference between the director and the associate, so they just earn $230, and you earn the difference between your level and the director's level. So you just earned $420, and you were likely not a part of that sale. But you did assist in training these people. You've offered support for your team, so you deserve to be compensated for that. Let's take that a little bit further. Let's say that you're an executive director who has a director who has an associate, 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 7 associates deep, and that associate has a sale. Well, guess what? You're still going to get overrides. So that associate earns commission on their sale. The director earns the override between his or her level and that associate, so they just earned $230, and you earn the difference between your level and that director level. So you just earned $420, and you likely have not even spoken to that person that's 7 levels deep to you. Can you see how this can add up quickly if people are taking action? Now, like I said a minute ago, what if you're an executive director and you have a managing director underneath you? Some people would think, gosh, I'm really not incentivized to create and help build that managing director to the next level. I may not get an override on that person. I'm happy to say you actually get an increase in your override by creating executive directors below you. These are called leadership overrides. So again, once you're an executive director, you're now in leadership ranks. And if you do have somebody that becomes an executive director beneath you, they now become a generation 1 to you, and your overrides on that executive director and their team actually increases. So you can see executive director, generation 1, you now get $200 on that ED's sales, all the way down to their next executive director. So let's say that Bob has Mary as an agent. Bob is executive director. Mary is a frontline level 1 person to him. I call that Bob's child. So Mary is Bob's child. Mary becomes an executive director. Mary is now generation 1 to Bob. Now Mary has a child as well. Mary has a child named Cher. I'm really not very original. Forgive me for that. So Mary has a child named Cher. Cher becomes executive director as well. Cher is generation 1 to Mary. Mary is generation 1 to Bob. Cher is generation 2, or the grandchild of Bob. So once Bob earns 2 level 1s that are direct to him, EDs, then he now is a senior executive director, and he will get overrides on Chair's commissions and Chair's teams as well. So the compensation is very lucrative and it can go extremely deep. You are actually incentivized to roll out people that are frontline executive directors to you. We also have, as mentioned, profit pools. A portion of every single sale is deposited into different profit pools. And if you participate in that profit pool, the profits that are inside that pool are distributed pro rata to each person that qualifies. And guess what? You can qualify for pools from day one. The personal producer pool only requires $12,000 of personal volume in order to qualify for that pool. New agents can qualify for this pool from day one. That's kind of exciting. Now, once you're at executive director, you can then qualify for the ED pool. Senior executive director, again, you can qualify for that pool. Managing executive director, that pool. Field partner, that pool. So as you move up the ranks, you're going to be able to qualify for more pools and make more money. And yes, you can absolutely qualify for multiple pools simultaneously. Now, this was really meant to provide a very general overview on the compensation. We can earn money in a number of different ways, from personal commission to overrides to management to certified field training, split sales to leadership overrides to profit pools to trips, incentives, and so on and so forth. There's a number of different ways that you can earn commission. We did not discuss all of the details in this. This was just meant to provide a general overview. For more detail, please do review the detailed compensation PDF that either the agent that invited you to watch this video has. They can send that over to you. If you need to find that, you can also reach out to other support systems within United Financial Freedom to reach that. It's in your back office. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that this made sense, and I hope that you can see all of the incredible opportunities that happen with United Financial Freedom in the compensation plan. But again, nothing takes action or nothing happens and no commission is made unless you take action. So please join us with the Take Action Partners team and let's go change some lives. Let's go make some great money and help people with the #1 issue on their minds, and that's debt. Thank you so much for joining us.